suck.
I got my Facebook warning. You're so uppity over there.
Who?
Facebook. I just got the warning.
Facebook. Yeah, they're pains in the asses. Oh, we're live?
We're live.
Oh, shit, we're live.
When did that happen?
Oh, I don't know. Good job, guys. We're
I'm
on
really
top
good
of it here. I guess here we go, guys. This is this is how it works. Oh, this Connected Human Conversations with Nancy and Mike. And today we obviously have Jairus joining us.
Yay.
Gap, Jairus, Jarvis, whoever we want to call him for the moment.
Yes, sir. I love that. That's nice.
Good to have you. We missed you on Thursday.
I miss you all as well. Even though I had to play from the sidelines, but we made it work.
Yeah, you were there. You were there.
So, first, why don't you introduce the topic since it's your topic?
Me? Well,
it's your topic.
Well, I wanted to talk to both of you all. Thank you for having me on, Nancy, first of all. Thank you. Today we just wanted to talk about structure and adding balance to your personal life, well, life in general and in business, because as far as I'm concerned, I got a lot of stuff coming at me real fast, right? So to me, I'm very in the moment. I'm very self-aware, and I know one of my biggest issues right now is having balance in my life and just organization and structure.
Okay. I thought we were going to talk about outgrowing our circles, but that's okay. We can talk about that too.
Well, no, because
connected.
That is connected. That is balance, because that leads right into outgrowing my circle. You know, if I create balance, because I didn't want to just hog around that specific topic, but I felt like that's it. You know, adding balance is going to tell me what I need to outgrow or they need to grow. It's the same thing.
Nancy, you want to run with first?
Sure. So, this is something we kind of touched on one of our island episodes where, when you're in a static system, your change, how that impacts the people around you, and, do you outgrow, right? Do we outgrow our community, our environment? And I think it's definitely possible. I talked about it, I think who was I talking about this? I don't know. Like this natural pruning of friends that happens that we don't notice because our life is constantly moving. And it's not until we get to a place of sort of stability and being still for a while that we notice that that's actually been happening. So for example, from high school to college, I pruned some friends. People didn't all come with me, but it seemed like a really natural transition because I went to college, right? And now I have these college friends. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, some of them didn't come with me, but again, seemed like a really normal transition because I went to LA and, there was distance, there was a reason. But when I, sort of found my roots and stayed in one place, all of a sudden I really noticed when people would leave from my life, right? And that being the case and taking a moment to recognize that that's the process that's been happening all along, it just felt different and I was more aware of it now. And so, is this the natural pruning of friends? Is this finding a balance of friends, that you've known a really long time and maybe, aren't on this journey with you and adding more friends that are? Is it a matter of, I don't think it's a matter of choosing one over the other. That I won't say. But how do you, okay, question for you. When do you most feel balanced?
I most feel balanced when I'm doing this right here. Yes. But I will say this, as far as I'm concerned, I'm learning that on the path that I'm on, being a leader, being the person that gives other people strength, the people that are around me, I feel like everything is on me anyway, right? If I say I'm not going to do this, or I don't want to be around this person, or I don't want to hang out or do whatever the case may be, I'm learning a valuable lesson that it's not them so much, it's me, because I've been in this exact same seat before. You go back around November or October when I was just hanging out with a lot of friends and we were focused. Everybody was focused. We were helping each other, and things just kind of went left. I realized we were not on the same page, and everybody didn't have each other's best interests in mind. So I kind of, was forced to make the decision to split. This particular situation, I'm like, there are a lot of people who are learning from me and who need the help and they want the help. But this is all new to everybody, and myself included.
Right. So you feel balanced when you're here doing this. That I totally relate to, because I feel like I'm being pulled more toward this than like maintaining my 9 to 5, my breadwinning thing is hard. And it's hard to go back into that, quite frankly, when I've been doing this. But it's all new to all of you. But you're all willing to embrace it and grow in it?
Yeah, I mean, I just think me being the one who has made the choice to step into it, I believe that I need to sit everybody down and say, look, this is how it's going to be. Not so much harsh, but as far as I'm concerned, it can't be a lot of playing. It's too much playing on my end. And I'm the only one who sees the urgency and who understands the importance of what's going on. Like they will do whatever I say do, but I'm the one who's kind of like feeling like, okay, if we see what's going on, why isn't everybody just jumping aboard like I am? But I cannot put my expectations on them. I have to lay down the expectations and just allow them to say, okay, I want to be a part of it or I don't. And that's something I have not done.
So you are a natural leader.
Yes.
You can't make them do anything, but can you set forth your boundaries?
Yeah. And that's what I mean when I say balance and outgrowing, because once I set boundaries in place, I'm going to know who I've outgrown or whatever the case may be, but I have not done that yet. I don't know what I give credit to Mike. His urgency is making me become urgent because I get it. I mean, I see it, the balance, the vision, everything in my brain is absolutely perfect, but I cannot get there if I have not set ground rules in place.
So the struggle, do you know what your ground rules are?
I'm learning, but majority of my problems are right here. I try to put them on this person or make excuses for them, but I have a strong, solid team. I really do. And they're only going to do what I allow them to do and what I tell them to do and what from the boundaries that I set in place. But I guess that's what brought me to the night to kind of figure out, okay, what boundaries or how do I add structure? How do I go about doing it? That's the help that I need.
Okay. Well, like I said, you're a natural leader. This is your team. They're used to you leading.
Yes.
So are there any boundaries that you need?
Yeah. I mean, like, I give a prime example. Thursday, I had let everybody know what was going on. That even though we had decided to take this trip last minute and, things were happening very quickly, but in my brain, it's still balanced. We can have fun, but guess what? At 8 o'clock, I need to start getting ready for my Thursday night show. Everybody knows that. And it just felt to me like through the Thursday night show, we want you all here with us. And I had a good time. And I wouldn't change the way it happened. But I had committed, and everybody knows when I commit to something, I have to, have peace and quiet. And I wanted everybody to say, like tonight, they all are waiting for me to finish this show. But I laid down, strict rules. Like, look, I don't want to be bothered. And I left at like 6 o'clock. And they're like, well, why are you going so early? Well, I want to shower and get prepared because I don't like rushing. Even though I perform very well under pressure, but things are getting so serious that I miss stuff. And when I notice when I'm rushing, I might misspell a word, or I might forget something. So I'm at the point now where I'm tired of rushing. It was okay, yesterday, but today I don't want to keep, because I'm not at my best potential when I'm rushing, because I forget stuff.
So you put boundaries in place tonight and they're being honored?
Yeah, tonight was cool. They're like, all right, cool. We'll see you about 9:30. And it was no problem.
Right.
But I think that stemmed from me, having an attitude Thursday. Then over the weekend, I was just so angry. And they was like, well, he mad and upset, so let's kind of respect him. But on the outside looking in, I'm like, we all know I've been doing this for a long time. This is not nothing new to anybody in my circle. But I just think, like I said, Mike knows more personal what's going on. I just feel like if I don't lay down these rules, then they're going to run over top of it, because don't nobody understand the seriousness but me. And as a leader, by me being the leader, me understanding what's going on, I have to be like, okay, all right, it worked today. All right, but what about Monday when I have another show? What about Tuesday? How is everybody going to act and respond? That's what I'm concerned about.
So let me step in for a minute, Nancy, if okay.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, there's many ways here, right? For me, once I identified my core values and I started stepping into them, people removed themselves. I didn't have to remove anybody. I allowed them to leave if they didn't fit anymore, right? Once I started holding myself accountable and they realized they didn't fit in, actions speak louder than words, and how they treat you and how they interact with you, they will eventually remove themselves when you don't react to it. As far as being a leader doesn't mean that you necessarily have to tell people how to act, interact, or what to do. What I find is leading by example, living your best self. And if they can't be self-inspired by that, then they're going to fall by the wayside anyway, and you're carrying weight that you can't carry. The reality is you need a circle around you that's going to support you while they're supporting themselves. So if they're not supporting themselves, then you have a circle around you that you have to carry. And you can't carry a circle. I promise you can't. I've tried many times. I've tried many, many times. The reality is, all types of relationships, friendships, family ships, whatever you want to call them, they have to be reciprocal in some way, right? There has to be a give and a take from both sides. There has to be mutually giving, mutually taking, all those different things. Because if not, then one side's not getting anything from it. And at that point, you're a disservice to them or they're a disservice to you. We don't have to want to hold somebody back for them to be held back by us, right? Sometimes it's just enabling somebody that holds them back. To me, it sounds like you have a few people in your circle that you're enabling, and by enabling them, you're holding them back from them finding their own path. I've spent a lot of time trying to push people on a path because it would be parallel to mine, and it always backfires from both sides. And it's very difficult to allow those close to you to walk away. It's very painful, but like Nancy said with the pruning analogy, right? Like for me, I never even really looked at it. I never looked back at it until she said it. I don't even remember what night it was. I think it might have been last Sunday when we talked about it. I'm trying to remember. But at that point, I started looking back at it, and it really does naturally happen. Now, granted, I skipped half of high school and skipped college, so I didn't have that pruning. It just naturally happened on its own. Went straight into the workforce, did really well. That pruned on its own. Came out of that workforce, got sober. That really pruned on its own, because when I got sober, that was about 96% drop rate. It naturally occurred, and I didn't have to push for it, right? I think it happens on its own. And when we try to force people to stay around or force people to stay motivated, you can only inspire someone that's willing to be self-inspired. You can't inspire someone to want to follow you because you're doing the right thing, and then you have to carry them.
Well, let me say
that you're carrying.
I don't. You say admit that you feel like I'm carrying them. That's how you feel.
I feel like maybe a couple of. I don't know each one of them, so I can't tell you the dynamic for each one. Mm-hmm. But if you constantly feel like they're holding you back in different ways and they're not respecting you when you want to do things, then in a way, yeah, you are carrying them, and they're holding you back.
I don't feel like I'm carrying them. I feel like I am somebody that is an inspiration to them. But like I said, it is new to everybody because I can see growth in everybody that I'm dealing with. You know, I kicked off, I was like hanging on like 10 people. I kicked them all off. I mean, it was over with. No questions asked. It hurt, like you said, Mike. Yeah, it did. But I benefited from that. But these 3 people are now, I can see their growth. Now it's not as fast as I'm growing. It's not as strong, but I can look back at each one of them and see the difference that's being made. So I guess I'm stuck in the middle. It's like you got somebody trying. I know they're trying. Now it's not coming as quick as I would like it. So what do? Do you stop a person that's trying because they don't get it as fast as I'm getting it? Or do you say, hey, what do you do? That's the main thing right there.
Sorry. You want to go?
You want me to go real quick, Nancy, and then I'll let you take over? For me, right, if something like Thursday night happened and it took me away from something that meant something to me, I would have walked away from this scenario. I wouldn't even involve them in a decision of what to do for the weekend, what I wanted to do with them for the weekend. I would have walked away from that. I would have expressed to them why it bothered me. I would have explained to them what the issue was, what boundary they crossed, how they showed disrespect towards what I wanted and what I do for me. And then I would have set that boundary and backed off. It's not that you have to drop them. You just have to create more separation from them while they're taking their own path. Because at this point, they're still too close to you that you don't know if they're on your coattails and trying to keep up, or if they're really doing the work themselves and trying to keep up with you.
And I like that because that's the mindset I met Nancy when we go handle this, because I understand what's going on. Like, I don't have fun. So Thursday was a day where we saw fun and everybody ran with it. And I was like, all right, let's have fun, because we don't have fun. But I still wanted to take care of my business, basically, right? So the last part when Mike says that, I don't think nobody is against me. I don't feel like, I'm almost 100% sure that everybody wants to see us win. And I know that as I grow, they're growing. So I appreciate the last part that Mike said, Nancy, if we can continue this conversation in that mindset.
Okay, perfect. And so, for me, one thing is the consistency of your boundaries, right? You don't know what they're going to do on Monday. You don't know what they're going to do on Tuesday. But you know what you're going to do on Monday. And you know what you're going to do on Tuesday. And that's what they come to expect. Like, that's what it is. This is how I show up. These are my boundaries. And again, you're here on your journey to work on you, your own self-growth, and see how it impacts the environment around you, right? So consistency of you show up as you with your boundaries in place every time. They'll get that those are your boundaries, right? It might take them a bit, but they'll get that those are the boundaries, and they will know who to expect is showing up, which is the real you at this point, right? You've changed faster than them. You've changed from who you were, but it's the real you. The other thought that came to my mind is there a place for you where it's not a black and white decision? Do you abandon them because they're not going quickly enough, or do you stay with them and go at their pace? Is there a way for you to be growing faster, mark your place, to be able to come back to them where they are, meet them where they are, and then just go right back to where you left off?
I got it. And I just want to make this clear. I'm at the point where I don't really care who's with me or not, because I know, like you all, I appreciate you, Ness, and I thank Mike. He and I have been having this conversation for a while now. So it's not hurt me to cut anybody else off, because I understand my position and I know where I'm headed and where I'm going. And I'm appreciative of the fact that I'm able to see my own growth. But like you said, this is the new me. I can't just be ignorant to the fact that they haven't seen this before. I haven't seen this before. So I have to give whoever, it's 3 people now. When I hit this growth period, okay, it might be 4 more people. So this is a constant thing that I'm going to have to look at myself and say, okay, how can I get mad at them when I didn't really set boundaries? So they probably looking at it like, well, he's not really forcing the issue on let's leave or let's go.
Right,
Or
right.
and one of them was like, well, let's just do it in the car because Nancy, I've been doing that. I've stepped out several times. So they're like, well, can you do it in a car? And I'm like, it's 10 o'clock. The show's over, So
Right. And I think that's a good point. You are learning to show up as the person you are now, right? Again, when you're changing within a dynamic, that's not always easy. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go back. Okay, thank you. Personal well-being. I see that, Jeffrey. For me right now, it's more about like focus on you, Jairus. Right? You got to focus on you. It's not, don't worry about what their pace is. Don't worry about what, do they come along or not? Don't worry about, having to make a conscious decision of what you're doing here with these relationships. You are you. You are going to continue to evolve. So you're going to keep showing up in new ways. Keep those boundaries. Keep them consistent. Keep showing up as the new you. Don't slip into that old you, because you know what the best kind of reinforcement is? Random. Because if they push you hard enough and get you once to do it the way they want to do it, it's worth trying every time. Because this might be the time, right, that you do it. So that consistency is really important for you and for the people around you. Now, you may show up one day, and this is who I am, be like, you know what, guys, I have time today. I want to have some fun. Let's go have some fun. You're still entitled to those days. But I also think for the people around us, it is uncomfortable for them when we show up differently as we regrow and that space between us, widens. But I think it's comforting for them to know consistently who's showing up. What are the boundaries going to be? Because I'm comfortable knowing that. I'm comfortable knowing that this is who he is, and this is what his deal is, and these are the these are the boundaries that we're going to work in between. If I want to be with him, I've got to do this. If I choose tonight not to, if I can't keep up for whatever reason, because your growth makes me so uncomfortable, that's on them. You're growing. The impact it has on your environment is secondary. And then you can look at the impact. But you're growing. You bring it back to you every time. What do you want? What do you need? What are you trying to grow? What are you, aspiring to? What feeds your soul?
And that's a good point, because I like the balance of it. I mean, I know me. I like to have fun, but I like to take care of my business first. I don't want to do nothing till business is handled. I've always been like that. But I don't see a problem with dibble and dabbing. To me, long as I got balance. I played the whole weekend. I'm going to continue to play when I get off here. But come Monday, I don't want to do nothing but work. And I just think it's on me. I continue to look at them and say they, and this person, but I have not said anything to them. Let's be honest. I haven't said, I got upset Thursday because I miss you guys. But other than that, I can't blame anybody when I'm the one that's laid back and just kind of letting things go. It starts with me.
Well, these are new things for you, right? So not surprising that you would get pulled into an old pattern, not be able to find your voice in that moment. But you were really aware of it. And the next time it comes around, right, you can have a plan for it and deal with it the way. But if you're also the guy that's always business first play and those lines are there, that's who you are. The words I hear that like it's on you, nothing's on you. Mm-hmm. The only one you're responsible to is you. The only thing that you need to do every day is show up for yourself. The only thing you need to do.
No, go ahead, Nancy. I'm sorry. Finish your thought. No, finish your thought.
Like you need to live within your integrity and your boundaries. So at the end of the day, you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, I did that. That was me today. I feel good about that. I can lay my head down on the pillow knowing that whatever comes after that for you.
But you know what? I'm weirdly fascinated with not just them, but I look at them because they represent the people that I serve. They represent the world to me, right? So I'm fascinated watching them, seeing, okay, I know where I'm at. All right. And then when I go back and check back on everything, let's just say 6 months from now, I'm so interested and fascinated to be able to say, okay, and I won't never say nothing to them, but I'm like, okay, I watched this person grow. You know, I know they kind of struggle with this, but by them watching me, because a lot of people, I'm just gonna be frank, I'm probably some of the biggest hope that they've seen. You know, no disrespect to them, but you got to think where I come from and the environment that we are in. You know, we don't have people doing what we're doing. You know, I didn't even know what was going on, but I can say they are being inspired. I see little small stuff that, you know, I won't say nothing to them, but I'm like, okay, wow, you know, you would have not done this, but you did do this. So they're kind of like my way of keeping balance of what's going on and know that what I have is working in real life, because I can see it on the internet all day long. The comments and all that stuff is fine, but I'm somebody who does this in real life from my day-to-day interacting with people. So I just think I need to just take some time out for myself to add balance here first, because I don't have none here. You know, I just get up and go with the flow. You know, if I don't have a meeting, I just take the day as it goes. Don't get me wrong. I get up, you know, do my meditation and I balance my day in my brain. But overall, I have not taken the time to sit back and add balance in my own mind.
So you came on asking us for help.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out. Yeah, you know it's coming. You had the answer the whole time.
Yeah, but you know, I like to communicate.
No, I understand how we get.
And I get caught up because it's a tug and pull with me, because I want to make the right call. I know every time I'm not going to be right, but I want to make the right call because I'm in such a delicate place. And if I would have just snapped out and said, all right, screw this, then I might have lost some people that really need the message that I'm pushing out. You see what I'm saying? These are people who need to hear and need to see what's going on. Now, I'm not saying that I'm responsible for them, no. But if I were a teacher and those are the students, I kind of get it, you know? It might sound weird, but in my brain, it all makes sense.
I see that.
But you can plant seeds, but if they're not ready to listen, they're not going to listen.
And
right?
I get that, Mike, and that's cool.
You need to find your balance within, right? Your balance for yourself and then everyone outside of you. Your actions, you are a man of action. Your actions speak for your words. You don't have to speak words because your actions are doing it. So in turn, allow others' actions to speak words for them when they can't express themselves.
Give me an example. What you mean?
So here's the example. Thursday night, this show meant something to you. Anyone who told you or who held you back or said it wasn't a priority, those are people that aren't respecting what's important to you. They're great when it comes to you building business and you carrying them along with you. It's great when it comes to building things, you know, you doing things for them, you relaying a message for them, you showing them, you teaching them. But the minute that it comes to something that's all about you and what's good for you and your sanity, and it doesn't involve them, then immediately they're pulling back and trying to pull you back the other direction. At the end of the day, you know, people ebb and flow in and out of our lives. You know, some of them hurt more than others, but actions speak louder than words, and the actions will show you where they're at, and they'll show you where you're at with them, right? You know, the reality is over time, you know, things prove itself to be whatever it is. You know, you can't fight the reality either. You can't say, I need to get my message out to these people because they need to hear it. They're not going to hear you anyway if they're not ready. So it doesn't matter. And sometimes you just need to let people go that aren't ready to hear it. Just keep them a little further at a distance. Just remove them a little further from your circle. Just push them a little bit further out, right? And allow people to move further or closer away based on where they're at the moment.
So
There's an ebb and flow to you.
So you got more experience in doing that, Mike, and you and I, you know exactly what's going on.
Not a lot more.
But you know more.
I'm
you
learning.
know more than Nancy does. But how?
I'm working in the dark, but that's probably good.
How did you begin
It
to
makes
do
it more
that?
objective.
How do you begin to do? How do you suggest that I begin to do that?
I mean, I took an honest assessment of where people valued me based on actions. I took an honest assessment based on where I was to them based on actions, not words. And once I started seeing that, there was a big acceptance and allowance on my side to allow people to walk away or be as far away as they wanted to be. And it hurts. It does hurt. Trust me. There's people that you don't expect that you have to allow to push away and allow to move further away. And it rips your heart out sometimes. But the reality is they show you your value to them over time, right? And the actions prove it. You know, words only go so far, and words are easy to say. Standing behind them is a whole different story. You know, and I used to talk about it 6-7 months ago. You know, words mean more than action, or action means more than words. And I really wasn't ready to truly stand behind that. I really wasn't truly understanding that yet. It wasn't until probably sometime in December that I started really standing behind the words that I believe are me and how I define myself with my core values. And once I truly started standing into them is when I really started getting the pushback from lots of people in my life. Family, friends, people that I thought that I would have in my life forever. It didn't matter. And part of it was allowing them to walk away. And who knows, maybe at some point they come back in, right? Maybe at some point they do what they need to do and they want to come back in your life. But at that point, you need to make an assessment of, you know, is there a role for them, right? Like you need to be self-evaluating while also evaluating your circle around you. You know, it's really important to self-analyze, which I'm really, really good at, overly good at, way too good at. But at the same time, there's also a help. I love that too, Nancy. There's a healthy level for it also. There's a healthy self-analysis and understanding of self-awareness and where you're at the moment.
Nancy, can
and
I
it's
ask
not
you
a
something?
judgment.
You absolutely can ask me anything.
Nancy, I just wanted to know from you because I just felt like, you know, you give me this, you know, Mike is like, but you give me like, I got you, Jerris. This is where you go. I'm just playing, Mike. But balance.
I'm a brutal asshole. Okay.
I love it though, Mike, because you got to be straight up with me, you know, and you know a little bit more. But Nancy, from your perspective, how do I make this transition to do what's necessary? And I want to ask you a personal favor to help me to keep track of this progress of what's going on, because this is it for me. You know, I know everything else is almost perfect if it's a word, but from your perspective, how do I make this transition myself before I can focus on anybody else? What you give me step one, please.
Okay. First of all, I'm honored and I see your growth. So that's no problem. I'm already on board.
Thank you.
Secondly, yeah, when Mike was talking, I have this piece where I'm deeply empathic. So if I see someone can benefit from something that I'm doing, it's hard for me to like just pull away, right? And just say, no, it's all about me. So, and I've been struggling to find my balance, right? Of being out there versus, you know, being there for other people. And I think the first step is being aware and being curious. You see this happening now, right? You have two points in time as evidence, as I see it, right? That you've shared with me. Thursday, you didn't get the support. They didn't support what you needed, and you stayed there. Tonight, you told them they had the boundaries. They supported you going, and you went. So what comes next? Right? What comes next? How are these people evolving with you is one question, but I'm always going to bring you back to you. When you're talking, I want to hear about you, not all of them. Okay, so they're not where you are. Okay, but where are you at? What do you need in this moment? And again, like I have this vision of you going, right? But being able to come back to them, right? That's where if they need you and you inspire them, right? You can come back to them. You can always take those steps back, knowing that you don't have to come back and stay there. You mark your point in time, you have your, whatever it is that grounds you to where you were when you took the steps back to be with them where they were at, so that you know for sure you're finding where you left off. And I don't know if that resonates with you, but for me, it's like the balance of, no, I'm going to continue to grow. And there are going to be people who don't like it. And Mike did say earlier, there's some people who won't tolerate it at all. People who are in the growth process are figuring it out too, just like you are. And I think having grace for yourself, grace for them, for the not knowing and the insecurity and being unsure about what the next steps are. How could you know? You've not been here yet. You're going to feel it out. You're going to take a step and go, you're putting your toe down. Is this solid? I don't like that one spot. I need to test the ground over here. Is it solid? Can I take this path? And I think that's the thing for me. The clarity comes from awareness. When you're aware and can honestly look at it, that's the two things. Is like, you could be aware and not ready to see something, and that's fine. You could do this. It's still there. But if you can take your hands off your eyes and you can really see it and be curious about it, right? And you can be aware, you can move to clarity. And I think you have a lot of clarity, but it feels like it's really entwined with feeling chained to them. Like there's a stake in the ground with them. And if you move forward, you can only go so far. And I don't know if that resonates with you, but that's sort of how I see it.
It's more so, it was like that.
Okay.
It's more so, let me talk for the business first. It's more so, I kind of feel like, all right, I need these people right now because we're transitioning, we're moving very fast, and I had to let a lot of people go. So the people that I have now, you're exactly right. I want these people, and I think they want to be here. But I feel like if I don't do what I know I'm supposed to be doing, I give them the options. I'm giving out too many options. It's just certain things in life and in business and what I do, we don't have options. And, you want a job, they say 20-minute break. It's a 20-minute break. If you take an hour break, then, it's consequences behind that. And that's the structure that I need to add in business and what I do to be able to free me up to do this.
Right.
As far as personal goals, I don't know, I just honestly don't know. I mean, I feel like these people are with me. I feel like they have the best interest in us overall. I do feel like that. I do see the growth. I don't want to feel like Mike is saying, I mean, if they happen to just pop up today and say, I don't want parts of it, that's fine. It's not going to hurt me to move on. I'm past all that feeling hurt and all that. 4 months ago, it was like that. I did get hurt. I was, it threw me for a loop. I didn't expect it to be that way. But I'm glad that happened because now, if everybody in my team decided to quit, all right, I don't have a choice but to go forward. But how do I feel like I need to work more or work harder with what I do have right now just to see, because I don't know.
But if that's what you feel like, then there's your answer. I was just writing down, it's like, sorry. I mean, if that's what you feel like, you got the answer, right? That's what you feel like has to happen now, then that's what happens now. And the question that came to me is like, do you believe that you're on your path?
Definitely.
Did you know all the right steps to get here?
No clue.
And now you want to know all the next steps.
Yeah. Trying to cheat the system, huh?
Trying to cheat the system. And what's different is the awareness, right?
Yeah.
And so CDK said tonight, she's like, I've stopped saying I can't wait, because the reality is I can wait. I can be patient.
And that's what's wrong with me, because I get it. I see it. And it's like I'm trying to almost in a weird way, I'm almost like looking for reasons to get rid of these people. And that's not fair to them when I know they're trying. I can't be like that. The position I'm trying to get in my life, right, to be this leader or whatever the case may be, that's wrong for me to look for reasons to let people go when I know they are trying their hardest. And I know if I would have said Thursday, hey, this is what we're going to do, I know it wouldn't have been any issue. But I played a little. I played into it. I did. So they looking at it like, well, he's playing into it. We're going to just take the whole thing. I didn't want to take the whole thing. I wanted to play in it a little. So how do I navigate? Do I just let it be and just let the cards fall when they may? Or what you think, Nancy?
So first of all, you said, this is what's wrong with me, and I don't want to do it wrong. Those are not words of grace. And I won't let you treat my friend Jairus like that.
Thank you.
There is nothing wrong with you. These are places of growth. These are places of discovery. What do you do? I think you keep doing what you've been doing. It's working. It's working.
It's working. It definitely is. It's working. So
connect your heart with your head. How do you do that is the question. Is that really the ultimate?
Give me step one.
Okay. My favorite thing to do is find a picture of little Jairus. Have these conversations with him. Because you wouldn't judge him the way you judge yourself. You wouldn't use the words you use with yourself. You wouldn't pressure him to go faster, to know, to figure it out, to, and see what comes up. See if that part of your heart and your head can get in alignment and talk to each other. That would be my first step. Your heart knows. Your gut knows.
And I feel like I'm being led by that in a weird way. I just feel like I'm creating all of these traps for myself. I feel like if I listen to me, stop listening to everybody else's input, that's my biggest problem now. I wasn't like that. Now I got so many people who see what's going on, and I think they want it more than I do. So it's like, I do this, but I'm like, I'm okay. Where I'm at right now, okay, we had a few hiccups, but 85%, I'm good. I'm straight.
So who you are at your core, right? People can offer advice. People can offer their opinion. Who you are at your core is, you don't have to take that all into your core. You don't have to do it because someone else said, right? This is what you should be doing or what I would do. You need to know you. And you do. You really do, Jairus. You are very self-aware. It's said about you all the time on the island. And when we talk, with people who are in our circle, that you have the biggest, purest heart. Don't let other people get in there. You can listen. But if it's not meant to be yours, thank it and move on. You've trusted yourself this whole way and you've gotten here. You didn't know what the right thing was to do, but you did. And you just kept doing it. Your thoughts are fine. Thank your brain for them. They're good things to be curious about. Exactly. They're good things to be curious about. Maybe you'll find some answers in those questions. But your gut and your heart know exactly where you belong, need to be, the steps you're going to take. You need me here to tell you that, remind you that every minute of every day. That big, beautiful, pure heart of yours was made that way for a reason.
And that's what I'm like. It's just weird because I know that, and up until now, it was like, it was all fun and games, but I'm starting to see the seriousness of it. Like, I'm on to something here. I'm meant to do something, and I don't know what that is. And I'm going to take your words and stop trying to figure out what it is and just do what I've been doing this whole time. I had no clue what I was doing would lead me to the position I'm in, but I knew it was something, just the leadership, the being open to listen and being willing to learn and just being a knowledge seeker. I didn't know that it was preparing me to help people. And sometimes it does get overwhelming because I'm like, I know I cannot help everybody, and I'm not even in it for that, but I do see the impact that I'm making. I do see the impact that we are making because I know that it's not about me, it's about us. And I'm here to remind everybody that. So I just think I need to just smile more it's okay. I don't know why I beat myself up so rough. I don't know why.
It's another good question to ask.
Why do I do that?
Where did you learn that? When did you decide that was another great place to be curious?
I feel like I'm getting the encouragement that I never had now with you all. I never had this coming up. I never had anybody to, I talk to my mom all the time. I never had nobody to say, this is it, or do it that way, or not even that, just the way I was doing it. I never had somebody say, Jarius, good job. I like the way you did that. I never had that. I'm just, believe it or not, I'm 35 years old. I'm just getting this really from you all, my internet family. I mean, people that I deal with on a daily basis, they have been helping me, and I'm helping them. But now I really can see the impact. Like, it's like this is what needs to be done.
Yeah, your heart wasn't nourished, right? So you can do that. You're doing a great job. You are achieving so much. You are bringing that. Yes, exactly. We're proud of you. We love you. We appreciate you. You have more value than you could ever imagine. You are inspiring people in more ways that you could conceive of. And you're doing a great job, Jarius.
So do I need to write some affirmations?
Try it. Listen here. It's one of those things. Throw things at the wall. What sticks? Try writing the affirmations. And if that works for you, great. If you tend to be a writer, write them out. There's something for me about the physical, even the feel of the pen against the paper and doing it over and over. That's my intention for the day. People do it in all sorts of different ways. I'm trying to think through. You can obviously do it through your meditation. You can put your attention on your intention. Even if you have to set reminders in your phone to think, all right, am I following the plan I had for the day, the path within reason? Life happens. We get pulled all over the place, but you need to find the thing that's right for you. I've learned to trust the people around me who love me when they give me compliments and reflect back to me how they see me. I have learned to internalize my wins. And I've learned to look at my quote unquote failures as opportunities. It's places where the universe tells me, nope, you were on the right path. Go back there. Or look, you may have taken a couple of steps down this path, but you have the skills to turn your butt around and go find the right path, the one you're meant to be on now.
Thank you so much.
No thanks needed.
I do. I don't get to do this. I do this for everybody else, but when it comes to me, I just don't get a chance to do it, and I don't know why. Mike.
No.
Yes, sir.
Thoughts.
Huh? Thoughts?
Yes.
Look, I've watched you on this journey, and I've been telling you from the beginning that you're doing it right, right? And I've been telling you from the beginning to trust your gut and trust your instincts. The only thing I'm gonna say is, at the end of the day, you've got to live with yourself, right? And if you know in your gut that you're doing everything right, then that's all you can do, right? And when it comes to allowing people to leave your circle or keep them in your circle or any of those things, I'm not telling you to throw people out of your circle. What I'm saying is allow them to leave. If they don't want to be there, allow them to walk away, right? And you don't have to throw people out. They naturally leave when the vibration changes. Because your vibration has been raising so quickly over such a period of time, and you inspire so many on a daily basis. You know, I mean, just like Nancy. I mean, Nancy's all over the place on lives now. Her voice is out there. She's impacting people numerous times a day, right? Like, she just is. And her magic is coming into her own now. And the way that she communicates and articulates and changes people's lives through her conversation, you know, you both have that ability. We all have those gifts, right? And you know, while appreciating them, part of it is allowing those people to leave that want to leave. I'm not telling you to throw them out, but if they don't want to be there, allow their actions to indicate that they don't want to be there and allow them to walk away. Sydney, I'm live, baby. That was the last chocolate milk. If you drank it, it's gone. I can't make more from a cow. I don't have a cow, and I don't have a chocolate cow. Don't get mad at me that you drank it all. So you throw it on the floor? How's that going to work for you? I mean, it's a matter of, it's like I always told you from the very beginning, right? There is mind, body, and soul. You have your mind, which is over analytical, just like mine. So it's probably going to, at times be more harm than good. You have your body, which is your heart. Okay. And that's emotions, and that's everything, and emotional attachments, ties, all those things. And then you have your soul, which is your intention. Right? That's your pure intent that glows off of you in everything that you do, right? Just like Nancy, glows and shines so bright, and the only person that can dim that is yourself. Just like Nancy, just like me, the only person that can dim us is ourselves. There is nothing that can stop us other than ourselves. So when we allow others to hold us back because we don't want to let them leave, then we are in turn holding ourselves back. It's not their fault. It's our fault. Whether it's a Sid, come on. Whether it's a sentimental reason, an emotional reason, whatever the reason is. Oh, well, I guess you moved the camera more than I thought. Whatever the reason is, it's still part of it, right? Like, this is the magic, right? Having these conversations is magic. Dealing with people on a daily basis is magic. Inspiring people through conversation, through actions, through the way that we do things is magic. You know, we see people every day in our lives come in and out of their magic, right? And I mean, hi Sid, and I mean that in the most sincere way. You know, people don't know how to keep their magic, right? They can get there, but keeping it involves the work. And you've been doing work. Nancy's been doing work for years. I've been doing work. You know, that's how we keep our magic, is by keep digging into ourselves and seeing what we really want and going there for real. You know, that's the real magic. And stop hitting me and kicking me, you silly goose. Where'd you put the child? Oh, you're such a goofball. I don't even know what she's doing. But yeah, I mean, but that's the reality, right? Like, we can't, it's not about judging others. It's not about holding them to a standard. It's about keeping your standards for you and not allowing them to take away from your personal standards. That's what it's about. Because we're of no service to anyone else if we don't put ourselves first. And any time that we're allowing somebody else to pull us away from putting ourselves first, then we're already losing the direction. Was that good, Nancy? Was that Nancy approved?
It's not about being Nancy approved. That's why Jairus is here, because we're two separate beings that articulate things differently and come from different places. And, you know, I think it's perfect for those it resonates with.
But
Just
I don't
like
think that was brutal. That wasn't brutal asshole.
No, I'm not.
That was more fluffy than normal.
No, that was good fluff, good direct. You know, honestly though, all of what we say is perfect to the person it resonates with. The person who needs to hear it that way.
Right. And I needed to hear that. And I need these conversations more because, like I mentioned to you, Nancy, as a small favor, just keep an eye on me if you don't mind. I'm not trying to, be worrisome, but I need that. I don't have anybody else, so I'm asking you if you will do this for me. Just monitor me over the course of, let's say, a month. Now I know April. I'm planning, it's my birthday, so I got a big trip planned and all that. But I really want to see, because at this point in my life, I'm really interested in who is with me and who's not. And it's important because I have to know. And if I have to take that hard look, but I like what Mike said, that's something I haven't done. I haven't allowed anybody the opportunity to leave. I was too busy looking for reasons or ways to force people out. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do what you said. I got to find the balance that's inside of me, which I already know. And I think the biggest part of me finding that balance is doing what I was doing before. Just working, not anticipating or not trying to get anywhere, just doing what I was doing anyway. I knew I was doing the right thing. I knew it would pay off. I didn't know how, when, or what, but now I'm beginning to understand, do what was working for me. Somehow I got caught up in trying to do what somebody else, and I don't think anybody had any bad intentions. I just think they were trying to help me. Now I'm like, hold on, I don't need that help. Let me just do what I know was working anyway for me.
Stop trying to make it happen and go back to letting it happen.
Let it happen.
And yes, like I said, I'm already tracking your growth. I see you at least once a week. So that's been something I love watching. And we've talked about it on Island, where you have come to fill your space, like really fill your space. And that was an amazing thing to see. The whole lean in that we joke about.
Yeah.
But when we started, you were this guy, right?
Yeah. You
allowed yourself to take up your space. The other thing that I will say to you that's helpful for me is I'm not necessarily a daily journaler, but I do write down if something like big, sort of, whether it's positive or negative. And I find that a really helpful, objective way when I'm looking back to see my growth, because it's my words, my feelings. And when they're on the paper, I can't twist them. I can't change them. I can't discount them. I can't minimize them. And so when I look back, it's really powerful to me to see the steps I've gone through. Powerful to see the change and the transition over time. I'll keep watching, and I won't be the only one. I guarantee you I will not be the only one.
I know you're not the only one, but I trust you with it because I know you've been doing this from the beginning anyway. So I want to let you know that I am self-aware of what's going on. Just like I know what Mike has going on. He doesn't think I know, but I tell him every Thursday, I see what he's doing. I'm watching. I like it. I'm catching on. So I'm letting you know the same thing. I see what you're doing. I didn't know you were consciously doing it. But now that I know that, I appreciate that because it does get rough. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I don't know what this is, but I know it's impacting other people. It's impacting me. I can see my own growth, and I like it. And I want to serve people the way you are serving people. And I know my time is coming, and I'm not rushing anything, Nancy, but you are an inspiration to me, and I want to follow some of those footsteps as well. I feel like it's time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is, you used a lot of really serious words. you trust me and I inspire you, and I don't take that lightly.
Well, from day one, you know what you and I were doing. We don't have to speak on that. And I'm somebody who I'm so self-aware. I'm so in tune. I know who has my interests in mind, because the stuff that you did, anybody else doing it, they don't have to do it. But you chose to do that. You know, I still got to go do what I need to do and respond. I haven't done it, but that doesn't mean I didn't see it. That doesn't mean I don't know what's going on. The same way with Mike. You know, he been on me since day one. I had no idea. But if he would have slowed down or backed off, I maybe wouldn't have came this far this quickly. And I'm looking at my people the same way. Like, let them find their own way while I'm finding my way, because I do honestly feel like I am able to grow and evolve while other people are doing the same thing. A lot of people say, well, how can you teach and lead? I'm like, I don't know. I know me. I know as I grow and evolve, other people are growing and evolving as well. We're a blessing, but guess what? I will accept that.
But Jairus, keep in mind, right? One of the keys to what I did with you was I backed off and let you come back to me. I didn't check in on you. I didn't try to put you on my coattails. I didn't try to carry you across the finish line, right? I had to allow you to back off, right? I did what I do, which is drop my reality checks. Let's just call them that. You know, we can call it asshole mode. We can call it direct mode. We can call it as blunt as hell mode. We can call it whatever we want, right? But like, I dropped the knowledge that I had to give, and I gave you as much space as you wanted. And then you reached out to me when you were ready. I couldn't carry you there. I couldn't, keep you going. I mean, I'd reach out every once in a while just to see how you were doing, but I never busted your chops. I never tried to pull you along. I never did any of that, right? And part of it is knowing when to allow people space and allow them to do their thing, right? And keep in mind, just because you allow somebody to leave doesn't mean that they're never coming back. It just means that they need to go find themselves, right? And you need to do it on your own, with your way, in your pace, right? And they need to do it their way, on their pace, and the way that they do it. And that's the reality. Like, people ebb and flow, energy ebb and flows, everything ebb and flows. You just don't know where it's going to come from. You don't know what direction it's going to come from. You don't know where it's going to, you don't know where it's going to go, right? You need me to be quiet? Oh, I'm sorry I'm annoying you, Sid. Okay, Sid. She decided that laying out here is better in the bed. I'm Sydney Rain. I'm not going to be quiet yet. Soon. I will shut up soon, I promise. At the end of the day, we can only do what we can do. We can't, like, I've had so many people over the past year come in and out of my life. The ones that come back are the ones that resonate, the ones that stick, the ones that, are meant to be there, right? And you've got to just let that be. You've got to allow that process for each individual, right? And then there's people that have come in and out of my life that I never thought would leave. And then there's people that come back that I never thought that would, right? I mean, you just got to roll with it. You've got to let it flow. And that's a big swallowing of pride, and a big swallowing of ego, and a big swallowing of pain, because a lot of pain comes with allowing people to walk away and allowing people to come back, because you can't judge somebody for where they're at the moment. You can't judge yourself for where you were at that moment, right? Because there's people that might remove you because you're not doing them. You're not being of service to them, right? And maybe they're just in a different place. It doesn't mean they're better, worse, further along, back farther. It has nothing to do with that. It just means that right now it's not matching. Because you're going to resonate with who you resonate with, because that's where the energy flow goes. Your vibration is going to attract who you need, or a little bit more advanced than where you're at. And that's the people that you need to, that come to you.
That's fine, y'all. Thank y'all for this session. I appreciate it.
Of course, friend.
And you know what? Before we go, it worked out good because I think we could have did it Thursday night. I love our Thursday night group. No disrespect to them at all, but I received it better. Smaller group, YouTube. Thank you. Thank y'all.
No thanks needed, friend. Truly.
We must do this
You have,
again.
you have the one person with the cement gloves, and you have the one person with the nice fluffy gloves punching you around.
And I think that's why it worked good for me.
Okay, good.
We got to do this again, Nancy. It was an honor.
Nope.
Thank you.
No, my pleasure, honestly.
Next time we want to have a follow-up discussion to really track it. If I'm not trying to overstep my boundaries, Nancy, I know you got a lot of people you are serving, but I would like to, a couple weeks, a month, or whatever, follow up, have the same conversation to be able to track this growth.
Yeah.
If that's fine with you. I'm not trying to get ahead. I know you got the schedule booked up. I'm not trying to be selfish.
You know who I am. I make time. Yes, and we'll connect. Let's connect off of here and figure out where we want to go and when. Put a date on the calendar and just make sure that we honor that. But I am going to say it's time for us to stop, you guys. I thank you for being here. I thank you for being honest. I thank you for being open. I thank you for trusting me. I thank you for reflecting back to me how you see me. And Mike, I always appreciate the way you show up as you are and you bring your wisdom and I'm not judging how you share it, but that your willingness to share your wisdom. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone who is in the comments giving Jairus love and support. He's definitely not alone. And the wisdom that came out, and also the fact that you're not the only one in this position. People are trying to find their balance. It's not just you. It's unique to you because it's your journey. But the struggle with finding balance is not one that you experience solely as Jairus. We as humans, it's a thing. Putting ourselves first, learning how to care for ourselves the way we care for others. Making time for ourselves the way we make time for others. And remember, don't make it happen. Let it happen. That's what was happening before. You don't have to make anything happen.
The way I care for others. That's the jewel I needed. That's it right there. Care for myself the way I care for others.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No thanks needed.